Idaho Central Credit Union Coaches Show. I hope wherever you are, you're having a fantastic week. Lots of great stuff to cover on the show this week. The NACAT award winners have been revealed. Boise State's preparing to head out on the road on a very big tournament. NACE is giving a chance to learn some of the best, and eFuse is hosting a combine for Valorant and League of Legends players. Later on, we'll connect with Doc Haskell, get his takes on the Coach of the Year honors, an old favorite coming back to the arena. The recruiting big boards get another refresh in the arena, get some cool but also very old additions. It's going to be a fantastic show, but now it's time to jump into the news of the week. The National Association of Esports Coaches and Directors has announced their 2021 awards for the top college and high school coaches and directors. Zach Harrington from Shenandoah was named the top college coach. Derek Spindle from Mount St. Union was voted the top college director. In the high school ranks, Daniel Velasquez from Case High School was the high school director of the year, and a name that should sound familiar to many, Daniel Bechtel from Hickman High School in Missouri is the NACAT High School Coach of the Year. Congratulations to all of the winners. Boise State will be competing in an exclusive 16-team League of Legends tournament in St. Louis over 4th of July weekend. Gateway Legends, sponsored by Fair St. Louis and others, will take place at St. Louis Ballpark Village and feature 3 days of competitions for the top programs. Notable invitations include national champions Maryville, Winthrop, and alongside other top programs like Miami of Ohio, UT Dallas, Harrisburg, Grandview, Arizona State, and others. All of it will be produced by Nursery Productions and viewable during the event. The NACE National Office will be hosting a 3-day webinar series this June. These webinars are open for NACE members and non-members and are being hosted by NACE members and partners. The first webinar will be held on Wednesday, June 16th at 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Twitch. Hosted by NACE Competition Council members Joshua Buchanan and Alex Gunnarsson. Learn the basics and best practices for coaching esports, moderated by NACE Competition Manager J.J. Myers. The webinar will be hosted on the NACE Twitch channel with an open Q&A. Attend the webinar June 16th at 12 Mountain Standard Time at twitch.tv/NACE Esports to be able to participate. Opportunities are developing for Valorant and League of Legends players to be discovered by select universities in the eFuse Pipeline Scouting Combine to be held this June 11th and 12th. Spaces are still available over the next couple days, but spots are filling up. Players will play Friday and Saturday with some of the top players in the country, be seen by programs looking to offer scholarships. Get more information and sign up at efuse.gg. This week's news has been brought to you by the Idaho Central Credit Union, who is helping members achieve financial success. And of course, we'll have Doc Haskell on as well, head coach of Boise State Esports. It's been an exciting season, and it's just now coming to an end. So what are you planning on doing this summer?
Whew, you know what? You can't really see it here, but that's okay. I'm in shorts, so some of it is just a little bit more relaxing. Do some hiking. Yeah, wear shorts. Really, that's the plan.
Well, I'm sure folks want to get your opinion on everything that's going on, especially our first topic. So let's jump into some of those, Doc. You were the 2020 NACAT Coach of the Year. You know all about the award. One of the first to reach out to the 2021 winner, Zach Harrington from Shenandoah University. What are your thoughts on Coach Zach and any of the other winners we talked about?
Super impressed with Zach. I mean, he's always been just a fantastic mind and leader, and he and his staff there got so many amazing players in a great position to have success throughout the season. He helped a couple of his kids get to their national championship games. There was a massive jump in all of their teams, League, Overwatch, Rocket League, and Shenandoah we've always had a ton of respect for. Mm-hmm. But he, alongside Joey Gariziak, are the reason for that. So I could not be more thrilled the Coach Zach gets it, because he's absolutely deserving of it. It's really cool for him. He just doesn't know what's coming now.
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple of familiar names as we talked about. Also, the head coach for Hickman High School being named the High School Coach of the Year, Daniel Bechtel. So it really is awesome to see. And I mean, the fact that did you have to hand the award over? Is there anything like that, like the green jacket? You got to put it over anybody or no?
We're not getting together that much yet. No, I did put a note in the mail to him, just to congratulate him and kind of give him a sense of what's coming. What's weird about these titles is that they're wonderful, but they're not actually rewards for as much for good behavior as they are a calling that you then get to execute over the next year plus, where you kind of have to be the voice of and the face of and do a lot of podcast interviews and those kind of things. But it's a wonderful opportunity to be able to speak about your colleagues and and to the world as a collected group of folks. And when NACAD, names those folks, they're always people who are incredible ambassadors. Coach Harrington is going to be an incredible ambassador. I can't wait to hear just more of him, which is one of the things that'll happen.
I was going to say, I don't want to, put words in your mouth, but it kind of felt you're like, I like my free time, good luck now that you have that mantle and I don't have to be the one, hey, you're the coach of the year. Can you come on this podcast? Like, no, that's not me anymore. Go find Zach. He's the guy who you want to look for.
I have been looking forward to the next coach of the year. So it's been a big important thing for me. So I'm really glad for Coach Zach.
And I mean, what was the kind of the impact you had when I know when all these awards were announced and you were kind of like, there's so many great people, but did you notice anything? Did people maybe treat you a little better? Did you maybe get some bigger recruits that you wouldn't expect? Like, what comes with, besides all the podcasts, what comes with being named a Coach of the Year for your program? Since, as you said, you were the 2020 recipient, you would know firsthand.
Well, I mean, keep in mind it happened in 2020, so there probably wasn't the same kind of fanfare. I hope, and I'm going to help, to make sure that Zach and these other coaches and directors get the attention that they deserve, because they've done a lot of great things, and they've got a lot of great things to say. So I'm going to help in that. But for me, I mean, there were a couple of punchlines about, Coach of the Year, mostly at my house when my wife would say, do you mind taking out the recycling? And can you get the, the garbages upstairs too? I'm like, you can ask the Coach of the Year to do that? And she'd. Yeah. So it's more of a meme to us. It really was a great opportunity to meet a lot of people. I suppose it helps a little bit in recruiting when you're talking with parents. If they've discovered it on their own. The problem with an award like that is you can't introduce it in the conversation.
No,
right?
no.
There's no way you don't come across sounding like a jerk.
Exactly.
So if they don't know it, you can't tell them.
Well, we'll ask the final question. Do you think / do you want to win it again?
So that's a really interesting question. I want to always be in a position where I am deserving of it, but I don't ever want to win it again. I always want to be deserving of it. I want to do the job in a way that would get that honor, but I want it to be shared by as many people as possible.
Perfect answer. I like that right there. Well, let's transition into maybe something that I'm incredibly excited about. The partnership with the Idaho Army National Guard has always been a fantastic one. Every time we've done something with them, it's been awesome. And those guys will tell you every time we do something with them, I say, hey, when's the next Warzone tournament? Because I absolutely love them. Well, guess what? It's coming up, the Stars and Stripes tournament. What can you tell us?
Well, I can't tell too much. They're still developing the format exactly, but the new essentially the custom lobby building is going to allow folks to be in these spaces together. We've encouraged them as they put this together to give the participants lots of gameplay, hours and hours of gameplay, because you could technically be eliminated so early, and it's not going to be a kill race this time, right? But it's with this new DLC, which has some very recognizable buildings and obviously some really cool 80s classic action heroes. A lot of really cool stuff that, of course, I love. I think what we're going to get is a more pure pro-style Warzone tournament than we've ever had before, and there are going to be people in the arena. There's going to be a major lighting and graphical change in here for that event. It's really going to be the cool Stars and Stripes event.
Yeah, I know that. I know one person off the top of my head who, as soon as they saw the Stars and Stripes logo on the Idaho Army National Guard Discord, they're like, "Hey, is there something coming up?" I was like, "I don't know.
Look at how cool that is.
That is fantastic.
I love it.
I am super excited for this. I think this is, as you said, it's going to be the best whatever. Warzone, I know, has kind of fully integrated into the Cold War style with that 80s theme, and I know a lot of players are really happy with where the meta is. I know you said you can't say a lot. Are we going to? Do you know anything about if we'll get some returning favorites, or do you think this is going to be all new blood? Because there are some people who have absolutely dominated our scene, and I would love to see them back, but I also like some fresh champions as well.
So I've had some conversations in the last couple days with some of the Warzone winners and finalists before. They're already looking forward to it. I think we're going to see some old favorites, but this format is quite a bit different than these tiny, small map, like we did with Modern Warfare. The last one that we did with these, I mean, just atrium, tiny little maps. These are going to be big maps. Even if we break them down into the smaller ones, there's so many different ways that you can play it. it doesn't favor the run and gunners as much as it did, the fraggers as much as the other ones did, which when they're just kind of dropped into these small maps, because it's open and because you can kind of play your favorites, because you can bunker a little bit. I think it's going to be very different. So for those who are like, oh no, I don't want to go up against these folks who won the last one, or any of the COD players that played competitively for Boise State. It's a different game. Warzone's a very different game.
Oh, yeah. I cannot wait. Like I said, every time we do something with the Idaho Army National Guard, I'm always like, hey, when are you guys going to do your next Warzone tournament? Because I absolutely love it. It is so fun. I cannot wait. We saw some of that. As you mentioned, there is kind of that 80s action hero. Yeah. So we'll give it away a little bit. You can maybe date yourself because, I wasn't born yet. But who is your favorite 80s action hero?
It's got to be John McClane. John McClane. I mean, if I could choose Hans Gruber, I don't know if Hans Gruber is going to be DLC skin. I would 100% buy the Hans Gruber skin. Alan Rickman. But as my favorite Christmas movie, Die Hard is the way to go. John McClane, Bruce Willis, white tank top, no shoes. Does it get better than that?
No, it is a fantastic Christmas movie as well. I'm glad you are on the page that is a Christmas movie indeed. And of course, if anyone could have spent hours, we could have been here for hours because it would have been you who knew all of the 80s action heroes. It was probably a very tough time for you to get down to your absolute favorite, but I cannot wait to see where that is going to go. Well, I feel like every single week, Doc, we talk about this. Recruiting never stops for you.
Yeah.
You're the only person in the arena who doesn't get a break during the summer from Boise State. Can you give us some updates on some players that are looking like they could be rocking the blue and orange here coming in the fall or maybe future down the line?
Yeah, I had a great conversation today with our guy, Matt Mercadante, right? Matt Merck, one of the top 500, certainly main tanks in Overwatch, and we've been working with him. He's playing some contenders this summer. He played quite a bit of contenders in the spring. Fantastic player. We have confirmation he is going to be on campus starting in January this year. He's going to be a mid-year ad. It's just where we had to slot him in as he was coming in, and cannot wait to have Matt Merck on our blue turf on stage. We're really excited to have him in. He's a fantastic player. Also on the list, as you can see here, I love this. Oh, and the sweep the leg image in there. There we go, John Kreese nonetheless. Mafsy, who we've talked about a little bit before, Richard Mallon, high school senior we're looking at. Abdallah, he's gone by other names in the past, but he's made his account Abdallah. Both of these folks have played a ton of Overwatch. And Amanda Bailey, who is she's class of 2024. We're not going to see her anytime soon, but we're watching very, very close. Main tank, she's fantastic from Pennsylvania. One of the folks that we're really pursuing right now, and I'll just tell you on this list right here, is Meslo, who is from Washington State. He is somebody who was at Hawkeye and has left. They've had a coaching change there, and he's elected to leave the university, and we now have rights to talk with him. Lots of other universities like Grandview are interested in him, so we're checking it out.
Yeah, I was going to say, that was the portion, no offense to the Boise State Overwatch team, that team is stacked, absolutely loaded. I've talked to them after they won the Mountain West. Like, oh, yeah, all of us are freshmen and sophomores, by the way. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
The League of Legends team, I think, is the one that a lot of people are very interested on just because of players graduating who we've known forever. And then, like, Dean, for example, not going to be back because he is graduating. So
the man got a degree,
I mean, hey, you get a degree, you go on. We're not at all upset about – we're a little upset, just a little. But, no, that's the one where I would assume League of Legends is kind of your primary focus just because there is so much roster turnover in that as compared to Overwatch and Rocket League, where you kind of were able to slate people in and they look like they're going to be there for a few more years.
Well, and you prompted me, maybe when we do the show next time, we'll actually break down the roster changes, who's coming in and what that looks like, because Coach Moore has done an outstanding job finding the right people to scout and to bring in. We are so proud of this team coming in, anchored by somebody who can be as legendary as Dean Wood, Brett Narkowitz from Glide, Oregon, who is, I believe he's 104 right now.
Wow.
NA 104. The person I was just referring to is 84.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's for Boise State fans, they'll understand. It's like handing the 11 to the guy after the other one just walked out. That is kind of where we are. It is absolutely impressive. I will say, I do think, how excited are you that for one of maybe Boise State's strongest games, Mad, you don't have to recruit anyone because it's only one guy?
It's Wasey Williams. We're working on a cloning program so that we can keep more Waceys moving forward. He's got a couple years left.
You gotta love that, right? Just I don't have to worry about anything. Wasey, you're good. You know. You want to get an extra major? Go for it, man. You just keep doing you. That's got to be so nice as opposed to, okay, I need a backup main tank, a third jungler.
yeah, exactly. No, we just need Wasey in that department. I think that there's some other folks who are pretty good at the game that really want a shot to develop, to be able to kind of come in and work through our process. And I'm very proud to say I think our process for preparing and scouting really helped Wasey prepare for those games, asking the right questions. That does not remove any of his talent and hard work. He's got an amazing work ethic, but I think we can provide that to other folks as well. We've got an outstanding, we'll talk about him in another time, Fortnite player who's going to come on and be fully supported. He's not varsity yet, but he's outstanding. Aiden, who's going to be here, and he's also legend Hearthstone player.
Ooh, I know you love that. I know anytime you can try and get Hearthstone back in the conversation. And final question, how early do you start? I mean, you mentioned a class of 2024. How early do you start the recruiting process for any of these games?
Well, recruiting is, so this is interesting. Recruiting is not a process of offering people scholarship. Recruiting is meeting people and learning about them. Yeah. Within the bounds of when they are reasonably thinking about school. We don't want to be too early. We don't want to start talking to somebody when they're in 8th grade. Typically, we don't want to talk to freshmen as well, unless they reach out to us and they want to know some things. But we're not checking in every month with those folks. We're checking on them a couple times a year. How are things going? Hey, we got a new shirt. Let's get that out to you and stuff like that. Or we're going to be in your area. We'd love to have you come out to one of our events and maybe cheer on your potential future teammates. But really, as someone is finishing their sophomore year and going into their junior year, if they love their game and they're playing at a high level, we start the tracking process. There's a lot of folks on the big board that are juniors and seniors. So.
Yeah, very, very similar to how the NCAA does it. And I will say, I'm thankful now. Maybe it's just because you don't tell me that you haven't shown me the caster big board yet, because I'm sure at some point there's going to be a junior here like, hey, by the way, Fish, we just offered you a replacement, so you better find a new career in the next couple of years.
We do so much dang broadcasting here. There's no chance, right? There's no chance.
I'm crossing my fingers. I'm just waiting for the day. Hey, we've got this 5-star caster.
We are recruiting casters, but experience is so much of what makes you good at that. And high school casters, even if talented, lack the experience. And that's not an old joke. So.
No, I just picture now. It's a 5-star caster right here, Fish. He's been I'm like, whoa, okay, all right, I'll find a new job. Well, it's great to see the big board. It's always updating, and I, of course, can't wait to see that stage right behind me. Some of those names on that stage. Someday soon, maybe someday in the near future. Well, if you are a regular in the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena, you'll have noticed an upgrade, or maybe let's call it a retrograde, depending on how you want to use that, because we now have 4 classic arcade cabinets. Doc, what can you tell us about the arcade in the lobby of the arena?
Well, this is from my personal collection that I brought in, and it is a 1978 Space Invaders, a 1979 Asteroids. Look who's got the top score. Of
course.
A 1980 Pac-Man and a 1981 Crystal Castles. We have a collection of about 10 of these games at home. I told my wife I'm going to take some of these in. She wasn't crazy about taking the super classics here, but honestly, that quartet deserves to be together. And everybody who sees it, it takes their breath away. And that's what we want. Yep. We want people to come down to the arena and cheer on the Broncos. We want them to see this spectacle, but we also want them to be able to play games. And there's no better way to have a game than have an arcade cabinet set on vend. You can just walk up and take a game of Asteroids,
No, it's absolutely fantastic. That is the one thing as we slowly get back to, allowing people in, that I love when we can have people in before all the craziness is. You see the arcade right behind me, is you get like a line of people playing. I know you have Mario on there. I know Tetris has been like a longtime favorite of production and casters, where we'll all kind of hop on and see who can set the daily high score. So it is really awesome to see that mini line starting to form. And you're like, hey, how far did you get? All right, I'm going to try and take you down. Oh, there's 20 minutes left on the broadcast. I can squeeze one more game out before I got to get ready. It's absolutely awesome to see that. And so now, I mean, of course, you bragged about your high score. I'm guessing the line on the Asteroids cabinet is going to go as far back. You should just start charging us a quarter. You'd be able to, retire within a couple years, I would think.
You know what? These games deserve to be played. We don't want to put any stop in between that.
Well, is there any cabinet you'd like to add to your collection? You said you have more at home. Is there anything else you're looking for? Is there anything else you want to slam in the arena next to those?
Well, I mean, I have probably a top 20. If I find it anywhere and it's in good condition, I'm going to pick it up. There are certain cabinets that are getting more and more rare. I would love a Frogger. It's not the prettiest cabinet ever, and we can have it. I mean, we can always find those games and put them on an emulator like that cabinet that's behind you. That's got 750 games on it. But there are a few of them that are so beautiful in their original form that we want them. I would love a Star Wars. That's such a great game. XY Monitor, such a great game. I would love Tron, which unfortunately when Tron Legacy came out, those things just shot through the roof. They were pretty reasonable before. A Dig Dug, a Centipede or a Millipede would be great. Obviously, an original Donkey Kong machine. All of those would be fantastic. I want something with a little history, honestly. But if I were to pick one that I really, really want, and actually, I've got a we don't really have space for it down here, but I've got a NFL Blitz 94 cabinet.
Now you're speaking my language.
Yeah. That one tends to ruin friendships.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Any game like that will ruin friendships. I was going to say, my ears did perk up at Dig Dug. I had some,
Dig Dug.
Grady, 80s classic greatest hits for the PlayStation 2. That was my absolute favorite game. So if you brought a Dig Dug cabinet down here, you might actually have to find some of those high school casters you were talking about, because I wouldn't be like, nah, Doc, you find a new caster. I'm playing Dig Dug. So absolutely fun to see. I cannot wait. Like I said, I love when we get people in the arena, as you said. It catches their eye, and then let me try this game out, and then you see the high score. You're like, I could destroy. Who's this Doc guy? I could absolutely beat this guy's high score. So it is a ton of fun. There's always new and I guess old things coming down to the arena, so you got to come check them out. It is awesome, Doc. Any final thoughts as we wrap up this week's Idaho Central Coaches Show? No, this has been fun to kind of do this, and if folks have questions that they want us to dive into, we're always interested in that. And if you're watching and you've got some piece of news that we need to be covering, submit that as well, right? Coaches Show is kind of about just filling in the gaps and helping to tell more of the story, and yeah. I did think of one last question I didn't even ask. We talked about your trip down to St. Louis for the League of Legends tournament. On a scale of 10 to 10, how many meals are going to be barbecue? So I'm going to let you in on stuff. I do not eat well when I'm on the road with a team. Fair. There is, me around here. Yeah. And this is home. When I'm taking 6-8 students on the road or more, and we're moving from place to place to place, honestly, if I don't have some Cliff Bars in my bag, a bag of almonds or something like that, it is very difficult for me to get enough calories in to survive the day, despite my storage. Well, I'm going to have to tell you. But I will. I'll do it for you. If you send with me an assignment, I'll do it. I was going to say, I mean, I've been told, I've been raised right. I've been raised on St. Louis ribs. So if you can't eat them yourself, just bring them back for me. I'll throw them in the microwave. They are absolutely fantastic. But tons of great things. Absolutely awesome. As we say, big congratulations to all of the NACAT Award winners. It is going to be a ton of fun seeing what they do over the next year. But that is going to wrap up this week's edition of the Idaho Central's Coaches Show. As Doc said, if there's anything you want us to talk about, reach out, let us know. It is always fun to hear Doc's thoughts on anything from St. Louis barbecue to 80s action heroes. But until next time, we will let you know to have a great evening, and we'll see you next Wednesday.